Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Talk About Colouring. I'm just going to adjust that a bit better. Maybe I'll go down. Hello, welcome back. It is lesson 7 and today we're going to take our first look at pigment sprinkles. These are a product that Stampin' Up has created and it's been available to customers since, let's see, we got it in April. Hello Kayla. And so that means customers June. And they're pretty much like Brusho, but what's really cool is that they're in Stampin' Up colors. And tonight we're going to take a look at using them. We'll actually be looking at pigment sprinkles. Hello Wendy, thank you very much. We'll be looking at pigment sprinkles over the next 2 lessons. It is starting to get late in December, so I haven't decided whether I'll do one next Monday night. I don't think I can next Monday night. It's too close to Christmas, so we will pick up the course again after Christmas. Oh, you've been looking forward to this one. Excellent. Well, it is pigment sprinkles will be 2-part, and my little man is out of bed. This is what happens during school holidays. I become relaxed and chilled and start cooking dinner late, and so everything's late and little people aren't in bed. Bye. Anyhow, so next week we'll be using pigment sprinkles as a watercolor kind of thing. So we'll be mixing water into them and painting with them. But tonight we're gonna sprinkle. Let's zip the chit chat and head to the craft desk. These are the pigment sprinkles. Now when using them, one very important thing is, it is a lovely thing to do, Wendy. Important thing is to cover your work surface because this is messy. And I have pre-stamped and die cut our same images. For those joining for the first time, this is a series of videos on coloring methods using Stampin' Up products. And I didn't introduce myself. My name is Tatiana and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And I sell all these products and we have been exploring the different coloring options so that you can get the look that you want in your projects. We've been using the same stamp set, the same layout, the same 3 colors, just changing the color method. This is the stamp set. It's called To a Wild Rose, and it also has a coordinating die set which is called a Wild Rose. You'd love to learn to crochet. I can show you a good page that shows, I don't know if it's good for learning. Anyway, and we've been using the same 3 colors which are also included in the pigment sprinkles miraculously. No, this is by design in terms of me. So this is Granny Apple Green, then I've got Bermuda Bay and Daffodil Delight. The other 3 colors are Mango Melody, it starts with an M, Melon Mambo and Gorgeous Grape. They're all in the Brights collection. Let's not chat too much and go. So one of the methods of using pigment sprinkles is that you sprinkle, probably should describe, so it's a crystallized powder. I don't know, it's very hard to describe. It's crystallized colors in powder form and they activated by water. That is the key thing. And one way to use them is to sprinkle. So this is our Fluid 100 watercolor paper and I have stamped the image using Stays On ink. That is a ink that will not bleed when you add water on top. That is very important information. And I would highly recommend using watercolor paper because it has better absorption of water and it doesn't peel when it absorbs water. It just absorbs it and gives it a better use because this is sort of like a watercolor technique. Method 1 is just a sprinkle and I have put very little. I've tapped it so lightly. So I was holding it horizontally, oh, and more paper came out, and I've tapped it ever so lightly and I'm just going to pick that up to show you that, can you see those dots of color? that is all that I have on there, and you'll see that that is enough color. I've also got our Stampin' Mist, a Stampin' Spritzer, and it's filled with water. I've got that much in it. You don't need much water. And I have some that have rubbing alcohol in them, so I've labeled them so that I know. And you simply spritz. I'm holding, what is that, about 20 centimeters away. That's a bit off camera. And I've spritzed, and you can see the color just, it is very bright, and the crystals are dissolving, and you can see. Now I can let that water run a little bit. Just kind of spread it out. The other trick you could do is spritz the back of them before you start the front, and that way it doesn't curve as much. But that is pigment sprinkles, and you get a different look every time you use them. So these 3 pieces, I'm going to just use the same method. A little bit does go a long way, Wendy. It is absolutely right. So this is the Granny Apple Green. Again, ooh, I'm getting more of it on the, paper. And this is why I really recommend putting paper down before. And again, I'm holding it back, spritz, and you can see those crystals were kind of yellow in color, but then as soon as the water hit them. So this is the kind of look, it's a splotchy look. Hello Christy, thanks for joining me. This is one of the looks that you can get with pigment sprinkles. There are lots of different looks, and you just need to really, you have to get, they are quite fun. Just a bit of practice, experimentation. I have pre-cut those. The other option is I've pre-cut because it takes a little bit of time to dry, and I didn't want to waste that time. So I've pre-cut and pre-stamped. But the other option is that you can do this, let it dry, and then stamp your images and cut them out. So when I'm sprinkling this, I'm trying to get a little bit of sprinkles on each of those leaves. Yes, a tie-dye look. That is absolutely a great way to compare that, Wendy. So you can see that the Bermuda Bay is a very extreme color, and I did get quite a bit of sprinkle on it, therefore it's quite intense, deep color. Now, when that happens, and if you don't like it, do not despair. I've got just a tissue which I've used up to clean messes off my table. So I'm going to blot this. And all you need to do is blot it up, and there you can now see our stamped image underneath, and it's all much softer. So that is option 1, I could say. I am going to put those to the side briefly, and I'm going to fold this paper in half so that we can start with another clean. So we started with dry paper on that one and dry paper and added the pigment sprinkles. So if I grab a dry pigment and then water. Now we're going to do water and pigment. Yes, you could also put a paper that you may use afterwards underneath and then utilize that. Sticking to the scraps tonight. Okay, this one we're going to wet first. I'm going to wet the back, so I'm just spritzing the back of that, and now I'm going to spritz the front. So I have saturated this piece of, it is watercolor paper, so it can take the saturation, and make sure I've got the daffodil delight. Excuse me. And now I'm going to sprinkle that, and this is going to be a very different look. The pigments will spread out, but it's going to be different to this one because the water isn't pushing the sprinkles, the pigment, so you can add a bit more. In the first one, the water kind of spread them out more. In this one, you're going to get this more uneven color and the more patchy things. Like we've got a bit here. And I really like that. I like the tonal variations you get. So again, spritz. Is that on screen? Ooh, my iPad's not showing. Oh, okay. Spritz. Now, Granny Apple Green. Just trying. It is hard to navigate where the sprinkles land. And if you wanted to get out less, so there's 3 holes there, you could cover up 2 of the holes and only use 1. And by lifting it up, you do get the color to move about a bit. It looks like I didn't really spritz the end of that leaf there, so I'm just, this one will have dual. You can add a bit more. So you've got to make sure that the paper is well saturated. Looks awesome. You like, Wendy? Now, it will transfer easily from your fingers, and this is a very messy thing to do, so don't do it, I don't know, Christmas Eve when you have guests coming over the next day and they might be looking at your hands. But it is, so I've saturated that one quite well, and we're going to add the Bermuda Bay. Paper towels are always handy when doing this. Is that, yep, it's still on screen. And as we have discovered already, the Bermuda Bay is very dark and strong. And I'm going to blot that one again because I don't want it so intense. There. That is pigment sprinkles. Now I did want to do a little bit of an experiment with them tonight because why not? I have now got as well over here a spritzer which has rubbing alcohol and a bit of champagne mist. What are they called? The champagne mist, yes. Glitter, I can't remember what we call these. Basically, hey Megan, it's a bit of this glitter, it's very intensely shimmery, shimmer paint, that's the word. Is that sparkle coming up? Yep, it is totally coming up. So I've already got a bit of that in there. I'm gonna put this one to the side. We'll let it dry while we try out this. Now, I don't know if this is going to work because pigment sprinkles are activated by water, not by rubbing alcohol, but why not give it a go? And I just need to add a bit more rubbing alcohol to my, and this is how I do it. I take I've got an old Panadol dispenser, and this one I just bought from the pharmacy for a couple of dollars, so I just put a bit in there. I find this is a better method to fill my spritzer with than pouring it straight in, because I always tend to miss. Could add a bit more. Let's forget that there's not that much in this cup. There we go. That's a good. And I probably need a bit more paint now because that's really diluted. This does need a good shake. So shake, shake, shake. There is a ball there that helps mix. I'll just pour some in. The more you put, the more shimmery it'll be. but there's no hard, fast rules. The only rule I do have, well, not that I have, but I would suggest is giving your spritzer a good shake every time you use it, because otherwise the shimmer paint does settle into the bottom. Let's grab some more grid paper. So, and I have another set. Once again, this is the Fluid 100 watercolor paper and stamped in StazOn ink. And we're going to add pigment sprinkles, then spritz. So I'm going to do the pigment sprinkle bit. So that's very light tapping. I am barely tapping when I do that. It is a very, very light touch. Granny apple green. There we go. And then finally, I'm going to take some, this is retired washi tape, and I'm just covering up 2 of the holes. That way, is that in focus? That's not focusing for me. But that way there's only one, because this one's been quite intense. Oop. It did kind of splatter out in one big heap on that leaf. That's right, we can always. So that's how you would close the holes up, essentially. And give my spritzer a shake. Once again, I have never done it with rubbing alcohol, so we shall see. It is absolutely working. The color doesn't spread as much because of the alcohol, the lack of water, but man, is it pretty. It is so shimmery. I will pick up these pieces, and that does not come out very, what color is Bermuda beige. It's coming out very purpley. So Pigment Sprinkles is they've combined lots of different crystals of color to get the final color. And I'm just gonna blot that one again. But how cool is that? Like, can you see that shimmer and sparkle? Yep. So it's not going to have the same effect. Remember, here I'll grab the, oh, now little miss is out of bed. Go, just get some water yourself, please, sweetheart. This one in my left is the same method, so on dry, pigment sprinkle, then water. And you can see it's just spread the color, and it, yes, sweetheart. Unless there is is there a jug that's not full? We'll use that jug, but over the sink. Oh, look, get your water bottle and use that. Your water bottle's still on the table. Sorry. What was I saying? Just take your water bottle and drink that. Sorry. No, just take the water bottle. Spokojnej noci. Okay, come and wave. Put your hand in underneath. Say, good night, everybody. Okay. Sorry, guys. I am a mum, first and foremost, and a wife, and then I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator. Okay, as I was saying, this one, same method, dry watercolor paper and spritzing, but this one was with water, and the water dissolves it a bit more and spreads out the color, whereas this one, because the alcohol kind of evaporates as you spritz it on, it doesn't dissolve the color as much, and because I've got the shimmer paint in there, it is just super sparkly. When I tilt that, you kind of get the illusion, or you can kind of see the sparkle, but this is seriously so much more sparkly than the camera is able to pick up. And I'll compare the other two colors for you again. So you can see in this one, which is pretty cool, the bits of color. So I was saying before, the pigment sprinkles are combination of colors. If I turn this one over, the end result is the granny apple green, but it looks yellow. And that's because yellow, the granny apple green is a yellow green. So it requires a lot of yellow sprinkles, and there would be blue sprinkles in there. And that's why we're getting those bits of blue in there. There's a little bit of red too, which is interesting. And this is the water. And this is, you've seen my life. Yes, Kayla, I have. And it's adorable. And I don't mind watching your lives with Elijah. So I'm guessing you guys don't mind when my kiddos are around. Wednesday Live will be with kiddos. And the Bermuda Bay, which is very intense. But again, it did spread the color around, which is good. And you can see that one's reflecting better how shimmery that really is. Let's, because the first set have dried, let's put this to the side and let's finish our cards. Same layout every time, and we will start with the flower, and we've been putting that up on dimensionals. There's my, it's all good with the kids. Thank you. Sunglasses on. It's very bright. Yes, my camera, I don't know what, nope, don't do that. Oh, okay, got it off. My camera, or my phone should I say, had its flashlight on, and I had no idea how I did that, but I thought it would be good for the video, but now we don't really need it. So I found a way to turn it off by flipping the camera. Apparently turns on the light as well. So these aren't 100% dry, but they're dry enough for me to put the card together. And this is the layout that we've been doing every week. Grab my glue. See, I've got some ink there. And yes, I did use watercolor paper, not the last leaf. Lost your desk. Oh, yes. I don't know what's happening. Huh. What the... I don't know what's happening. Come on, technology. Oh. Yes, it does seem to be. And I managed to get it back. So when I'm pointing, it's shining that light. I'm just going to give it a second for my iPad to catch up, because my iPhone is now Mac. Okay, not sure if I caught up. Don't touch. Perfect now. I'm not touching. There is a bit of a glare. It's okay. It's working. Not touching the phone. Yeah. Leaf. And you can see my beautifully colored fingers. Leaf and leaf. So different intensity in sprinkles when you apply the water. Ah! Sorry, Megan. I thought you were talking about the spotlight that was happening, because it was bothering me. So I just took that and whoops. My iPad is paused. My iPhone is on black screen, so I can't even see if everything is going okay. Okay, looks like we're back. Love technology, but really, I'm seeing thumbs up now, which is good. These are still slightly damp because we did drench them in water, but they're, don't really want it covering up the stamped leaf. No, it's all good, Megan. No need to apologize. And I don't know if those thumbs keep coming or if they're on repeat or what. And finally our shimmery one. Where are they? My iPad keeps pausing. I don't know what's going on. I am going to continue working despite my iPad pausing. I think it might be time to upgrade. I don't know, can someone comment? Have you lost me? Or is it working for you? Yep, Megan, the kids have finished school. They're officially on school holidays already. So what was this? They finished on Wednesday, so they've had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. This is day 5 of school holidays. It's all looking good. Okay, I will. Day 5 of school holidays. I've been to the gym 3 of 5 days because the creche costs $1 a kid. And then we went to a play gym, you know, like a play area center thing. And I was writing Christmas cards while the kids were running around. There we go. Glad to hear. And this is lesson 1 of Pigment Sprinkles. As you can see, it is extremely different visually to anything that we've shown in this series of videos. Last video was the markers, the Stampin' Write markers, and you can see this is just, it's so totally different. It's also because we're taking the color right past beyond the stamped image and it goes onto that white edge, so you're getting a very different look. You can really see that here. Like the sparkly one best. It is intensely sparkly. I wish I could really show you how sparkly that one is. It is super intense. I don't think the camera is really picking up how intensely sparkly it is. It's like I've got a sheet of glitter over it, honestly. It is so intense. That is Pigment Sprinkles. Now there is other ways of using Pigment Sprinkles. I have only touched the surface. Yep, so my iPad's just caught up and it is not showing the sparkles as well as they are in real life. That shimmer paint is amazing. I used a lot of it last Christmas. This Christmas I didn't, but probably should have. It would have been amazing. If you would like to know more information, feel free to comment. I'm more than happy to let you know. I also do have a customer loyalty program. So for every $50 you purchase with me from my online store, which is in the description below or above, below, you'll collect a sticker, collect 10 and get $50 free. There's also a host code for December. If you add that in, I'll be able to add a little special present to my closing of the order this month, and I'll send that out in January. Thank you so much for watching. I'm just looking at the calendar now. What are we? We're the 17th. Next Monday is the 23rd, and that is way too close to Christmas, so I'm going to close up shop. I may do. Okay, no, I think I can definitely do Monday the 30th. I will post on my Facebook page if I can, but I'm pretty sure Monday the 30th will be all good, and I can show you part 2 of Pigment Sprinkles. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me. Have a very, very Merry Christmas, and I will be doing my live on Wednesday during the day, showing off new products that will be available from the 3rd of January. So if you feel free to join me for that one at 10 AM Australian Eastern Standard Daylight Time. Thank you, and bye for now.